जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। गौर प्रेमानंदी। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस पुरुषार्य अष्टोत्तर डिवाइन ग्रेस अभय चरण भक्तिवेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस पुरुषार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती गोस्वामी महाराज की जय। जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस पुरुषार्य अष्टोत्तर श्रीमद् भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर डिसिप्लिन्स डे की जय। श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण की जय। समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय। ऑल ग्लोरीज टू assembled duties, all glories to assembled duties, all glories to assembled duties, all glories to Sri Guru and Gauranga. Hai Gaur Premanandi. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 10, Chapter 48, Text 21. Srijasi atholam pasipashi vishwam. Srijasi atholam pasipashi vishwam. Srijasi atho lumpasi pashi vishwam. Srijasi atho lumpasi pashi vishwam. Rajastama sattva gune svashakti bhi. Rajastama sattva gune svashakti bhi. Rajastama sattva gune svashakti bhi. Nabatyashe tat guna karma birvaham. Nabatyase tat guna karma birvaham. Nabadyase tat guna karma birvaham. Tat guna karma Jnanatmanaste kvacha bandha hetu. Jnanatmanaste kvacha bandha hetu. Srijasi atolam pasipashi vishwam. Srijasi atolam pasipashi vishwam. Rajastama sattva gunai swashakti bhi. Rajastama sattva gunai swashakti bhi. Nabhatyashe tat guna karma birvam. Nabhatyase tat guna Jnanatmaste kvacha bandha hetu. Te kvacha bandha hetu. Okay, go ahead, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Srijasi atholam pasipashi vishwam. Rajastama sattva gune svashakti bhi. Nabadyase tat guna karma birvam. Jnanatmanaste kvate abandha hetu. Srijasi atholam pasipashi vishwam. Jnanatmanaste kvacha bandha hetu. Word meaning? Srijasi, you create. Athayu, and then lampasi, you destroy. Pashi, you protect. Vishwam, the universe. Raja, known as passion. Tama, ignorance. Sattva, and goodness. Gunai, by the modes. Swashakti bhi, your personal potencies. Na bhadyase, you are not bound. Tat, of this world. Guna, by the modes. Karma bhi, by the material activities. Va, or Jnana Atmana, who are knowledge itself. Te, for you. Qua, cha, where at all. Bandha, of bondage. Hetu, cause. Translation: you create, destroy, and also maintain this universe with your personal energies, the mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. Yet you are never entangled by these modes or the activities they generate. Since you are the original source of all knowledge, what could ever cause you to be bound by illusion? Purport: the phrase Jnana Atmanas Tekvacha Bandhetu. Since you are constituted of knowledge, what could be a cause of bondage for you? Definitely indicates the obvious that the omniscient Supreme Lord is never in illusion. Therefore, the impersonalist theory that we are all God but have forgotten and now in illusion is refuted here in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Jnanatimrandasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Vandeham Sri Guru Sri Yutapadakamalam Sri Gurum Vaishnavamsha Sri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Sajivam Sadvaitam Saudutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sahagana Lalita Sri Vishakhanvitam Shah. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopisha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Devi Pranamami Hari Priye. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Vancha kalpatarubhyasya kripa sindhubhya cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavbhyo namo namaha. Today is a very auspicious day. Today is Srila Prabhu Bhakti Vinod Thakur, Om Vishnu Sri Bhakti Vinod Thakur's disappearance day. So in this translation, it goes on that. You create, destroy, and also maintain this universe. So the Lord is the creator, maintainer, and destroyer of this. The Lord is the master of this universe. He is the controller of this universe. He creates, maintains. They are under the modes of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. This material universe is maintained by this three, it acts under these three natures. But the Lord is above this, He is transcendental to these modes of nature. So create, maintain, and destroy. So when we say create, maintain, and destroy, Shiva annihilates this universe, Vishnu maintains, and Brahma creates. There's three controllers, the control of these three modes of nature. Shiva means auspicious. So when we say this, it's not inauspicious. Creation, maintenance, and annihilation is not inauspicious on a higher sense. On the mundane sense, like example, like a prisoner, like the prison house is maintained by the government. So there is criminal department, also there is law department, but it is taken care by the government. Similarly, this material world is meant for our rectification, for our purification, to understand the nature of this world. It says here, you create, destroy, and also maintain this universe with your personal energies, the mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. So in this material world, the living entity want to lord over material nature, but they become entangled by the modes of nature. Everybody wants to become the master in this world. Everybody thinks that's the intention. When I retire, I will have enough bank balance and I will be happy. But the nature of the world is padam padam yat vid padam. It's every step is material world, is a place of danger. However, one tries his best. That's the nature of the world. You cannot make it a nice place. So he says, you create, destroy, and also maintain this universe with your personal energies, the mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. Yet you are never entangled by these modes or the activities. The example is given: the spider builds its web, and it doesn't become trapped by this. The spider builds his web by this. Similarly, the Lord is never entangled by these modes or activities they are generated. Since you are the original source of all knowledge, what could ever cause you to be bound by illusion? Srila Prabhupada always was heavy when he used to preach. When he says, you are not this body, you are a spirit soul. Whatever in this world, you are not the master, you are not the enjoyer, you are not the controller. Srila Prabhupada sometimes used to speak very laughingly, sometimes used to speak in a very humble way, and sometimes used to chastise. But he used to speak the truth, the nature of this material world. Because a sadhu means a saintly person, he cuts off the illusion of this material world. We are all in this world bewildered by the external energy. So actually Maya is front of us, and we want to enjoy. That's the nature. But when we try to enjoy, we become entangled, we suffer. We cannot enjoy. That's the nature like that. The living entity want to enjoy in this world. Maya is front of us and we want to enjoy. But when we try to enjoy, we become implicated. So he says, but the Lord is not. So you create, destroy and maintain. We cannot create, like in this material world, Srila Prabhupada says you cannot create an egg also. But what we create also, it causes disturbances. Like if we create a motor car, then there is fuel, then many other problems comes up, you know. The whole economy is based on fuel, and there's smoke all over. People work very hard, like that. And everybody has a car, and everybody's out of home, 100 miles, 200 miles. So the price of the fuel is $6. So it goes on increasing, and it's the same cup of bread. People work hard and hard. It says, you create, destroy, and also maintain this universe with your personal energies. So in this, there's a nice story of Chitraketu. Chitraketu was a very great very king, and he had many wives, but he had no children. So everything is the arrangement of the Lord like that. So Chitraketu, though he had many wives, but he could not produce any children. So one day Narad Muni and Angira Rishi came to his palace, and he asked him, what's the cause of your disturbance? Then he told, this is my situation, that I want a son to maintain this kingdom. And they say him that this will be cause of your happiness and lamentation, shoka and moha. So, and he begot a son, and after some days, the son, because he had many wives, the other wives became envious, and they gave him a poison, and they killed him. So, when Angira Rishi and Narad Muni came, they were lamenting. They were in illusion, like, so what's the cause of it? So then they give life to the son, because they are saintly persons. And the son speaks philosophy, very nice. So it's just like a dream. In a dream, a person dreams. So what's the value in the dream? And after he gets up, the dream is gone. So what's the value of such a dream like that? Similarly, in this world, everything is temporary. So whatever relationship also is temporary. So it's after death, everything is finished. And before birth, there's no relationship like that. So it's temporary, it goes on. This material world is cycle like that. So it speaks a nice philosophy on that. And we have today Srila Bhakti Vinod Thakur's Disciplines Day. Bhakti Vinod Thakur has sung many wonderful songs which we sing daily. The Sandhya Arti, Ki Bajayo Jayo Gora Chande Arati Keshova Janavi Tatvani Jagmane Lobha Ki Bajayo Jayo Gora Chande Arati Keshova. He wrote many songs, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, because he was a pure representative of Krishna. Jeev Krishna Das, Ei Vishwas to Korlo or Dukunai. Maya, but the Jeev, he Habudubu. He's kicked under the illusion, but he thinks he becomes bewildered by the illusion energy. He's constantly kicked by the material nature. And another way, but Jad Vidya Mayar Vaibhav, Jiveri Gada Bhanai. This modern education is considered to become like a donkey. He works very hard. It makes him make him hard to work in this material world. That's a nice song. Another song is of Manasa Deha Je Kuch Mora Arpila Tuva Padan Kishore. Whatever it is, body, mind, words, everything, I offer it to Lord Krishna. This very meaningful songs. And it says, yeah, there one more Vaishnava song is there, Kita Janma Hoi, Kita Janma. Even when we're born in a worm, that I be born in a devotee's house, because he can hear the holy name of the Lord, Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then he will be delivered like that. So the association of devotees is so powerful. Association of devotees is very important. It's very important in spiritual life, how you associate. So the Srila Prabhupada founded this movement, ISKCON International Society. Srila Prabhupada's spiritual master was Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur Maharaj. And his father was Bhakti Vinod Thakur. Bhakti Vinod Thakur had 10 sons like that. And that one of them is Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati. He was a very exalted devotee of the Lord. And Bhakti Vinod Thakur told him to go to Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj and take initiation. Gaur Kishore Das Babaji is a very pure, elevated Vaishnava. And Srila Bhakti Siddhanta took initiation from Gaur Kishore Das Babaji. Yes. So creation, maintenance, and annihilation. So the Lord creates this material universe, cosmic manifestations. He maintains it and annihilates it by his expansion. Like a spider, exactly like spider creates, maintains, and winds up its web. So Lord creates this cosmic manifestations. He maintains it and he annihilates it by his expansion of his personal. As the example is given, spider creates, maintains, and winds up its web. So this world is under this modes of nature, but the Lord is not under this. He creates this, maintains, and annihilates, destroys this. So this is something. So whatever plans we make in this world ultimately become frustrated. That's the nature of this material world. That plans won't succeed. Not create. So we should not create plans that will make us frustrated. We have to become Krishna conscious. That's the nature of the living entity. You want to make plans. You want to become happy in this world. Like he wants to make a lot of money and wants to retire. but he cannot live peacefully because the nature of the world is, because that's the intention of everyone, that he wants to retire. Nobody wants to work. But unless one doesn't become Krishna consciousness, he cannot become happy in this material world. That's the nature of the world. It's a place of miseries. It's temporary and full of miseries. This is very wonderful. This topic is about you create, destroy, and maintain this universe with your personal energies, the mode of passion, ignorance, and goodness. You are never entangled by these modes or the activities they generate. Since you are the original source of all knowledge, what could ever cause you in bound to be illusion? The phrase jnana natmaste cha bandha hetu. Since you are constituted of knowledge, what could be cause of bondage for you? You definitely indicate the obvious that the omniscient Supreme Lord is never in illusion. Therefore, the impulse theory that we are all God, but have forgotten are now in illusion, is refuted here in the pages of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Mayavadis think themselves to be God. The Mayavadi's philosophy is that. When we say we are not God, we are servant of God. The Mayavadi's philosophy is Brahma Satya, Jagat Mithya. This Brahman is real. No, they say Brahman Satya like that. We are Brahman. As souls we are eternal like. But this world is false like that they say. But Vaishnava philosophy is this material world is temporary. It's not, but it's real. It's temporary, but it's real like that. That's the difference between Mayavada and Vaishnava. We don't say it's false like that. So this knowledge. Yeah, it is. So this is a nice story of the king is, and his son speaks. And the saintly person gives life to the son, and he's alive like this. He says, "O king, what relationship does the dead body for which you lament have with you? What relation do you have with him?" So this is the instruction given by the sages Narad and Angira to the king. He says, "What relation does the dead body for which you lament have with you? What relationship do you have with him?" It's very nice, yeah. So the king Chitraketu got his son, we got his son, he got the benediction, and later the son died, and he was lamenting for the body. And the rishis, Narad Muni and Angira, they are saying, "What relation does the dead body for which you lament have with you? What relation do you have with him? You may say that you are now related as father and son. But do you think this relationship existed before?" So in this, it says, what relationship you have? The sage is saying, before you had some relation, because after begetting, like before marriage, there is no relation. And after marriage, there is a relationship. And that relation, that becomes very tight. That's the first verse in Bhagavatam. It says, "Janmadi asya anovad itarascharteshu abhigna swarat. Om namo bhagavate vasudeva." I offer my respectful obeisances unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna. Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya. Janmadi asya etavanovad itarascharteshu abhigna surat tene brahma hidayadi kavaye tejo vari mridam yatha vinimaya yatrati sargo amrusha dhamna svena sada nirastakokam satyam param dimaye. Krishna is the absolute truth. Krishna is in this absolute. So great rishis also, they become bewildered. They also become illusion. Demigods also become illusion. What to speak of the conditioned souls? Krishna's energy is truth. So in this also it says, what relationship does the dead body for which you lament have with you? What relationship do you have with him? You may say that you are now related as father and son, but do you think this relationship existed before? It's a very wonderful, nice point it says here. Like this body was alive before and now it's dead. but what was the relationship before? Hmm? And what you had some relationship with, or now you have some relation. You may say that now you are now related as father and son, but do you think this relation existed before? Does it truly exist now? Will it continue in the future? Will it exist now or will it continue in the future? The instructions given by Narada and Angira Muni are the true spiritual instructions for the illusion conditioned soul. So here it says, the instructions given by Narada and Angira Muni, these are the saintly persons, are the true spiritual instructions for the illusion conditioned souls. For the illusion conditioned souls, this is a real knowledge. It's like Angira Muni and Narad Muni is saying to the king Chitraketu, what relationship do you have with him? You may say that now you are related as father and son. But do you think this relationship existed before? Does it truly exist now? Will it continue in the future? The instruction given by Narada and Angira Muni are the true spiritual instructions for the illusion conditioned souls. This world is temporary, but because of our previous karma, we come here and accept bodies. So everybody has a different body. If you see around, you won't find same futures. Everybody has a different futures. Everybody has a different karma. Prabhupada says, this world is temporary, but because of our previous karma, we come here and accept bodies, creating temporary relationship. So whatever relationship in this world is temporary. Whatever example, family, whatever it is, or whatever name, or whatever things, knowledge, wealth. One may not take his knowledge along with him or wealth along with him. The bank won't say, this is your wealth, you take it now. It's all temporary. He says, this world is temporary, but because of our previous karma, we come here and accept bodies, creating temporary relationship in terms of society, friendship, love, nationality, and community, which are all finished at death. So at the time, everything is finished. Whatever our relationship is, friendship, love, nationality, and community. This temporary relation did not exist in the past, nor will they accept in the future. So it was not existing before, and nor in future it will exist. That at the present moment, the so-called relationships are illusion. So whatever relation in this world, they are all illusion. In this, Srila Prabhupada explains in his purports like that. And these are the knowledge which are given by the sages, Narad Muni and Angira, to the great king Chitraketu. He was lamenting for the son, and he says, O king, what relationship does the dead body for which you lament have with you? So what is the relationship with the body? Body is a dead matter. It's here in front of you. Like in people go to the ICU and they cry, where is there? Where is there? After some time, where is there? Who's gone? Right? We become bewildered like this body. What relationship do you have with him? You may say that similarly here also this example is given with Angira Muni. And you may say that you are now related as father and son. But do you think this relationship existed before? Does it truly exist now? Will it continue in the future? The instructions given by Narada and Angira Muni are the true spiritual instruction for the illusion conditioned souls. The world is temporary, but because of our previous karma, we come here and accept bodies, creating temporary relationship in terms of society, friendship, love, nationality, and community, which are all finished at death. This temporary relationship did not exist in the past, nor will they exist in the future. Therefore, at the present moment, the so-called relationship are illusions. O king, both you and we, your advisors, wives and ministers, as well as everything moving and not moving throughout the entire cosmos at this time are in a temporary situation. So the king is, Narad Muni is saying here, Angira and Narad Muni, that whatever you see, your advisors, your wives, your ministers, everything, this moving and non-moving. There are trees, they don't move. They stay in one place. Whatever we see in this entire earth, they are all temporary. Before our birth, this situation did not exist. After our death, it will exist no longer. Therefore, our situation now is temporary, although it is not false. It says creation, maintenance, annihilation. Like this world is created, maintained, and annihilated. Example is given like a father begets a son. He creates a son. Without son, there's no father. Without father, there's no son. Like that. So it's create, example. Then maintain is by the king. The king maintains or the minister maintains the citizens or the president maintains the citizens. And annihilated by time, there are some species of life like snakes, they kill like that time. So create, maintain, and so example, like a child makes an house of sand in front on the seashore, but the waves comes and takes it away. So everything is controlled by the Lord. But in the meanwhile, under the false prakriti kriya manani gunai karmani sarvasha, he thinks he's the doer, but he's controlled. Everyone is controlled. Here, similarly, here it says, both you and your advisors, wives and ministers, everything, moving and not moving throughout the entire cosmos at this time are in a temporary situation. Before our birth, this situation did not exist, and after our death, it will exist no longer. Therefore, our situation now is temporary, although it is not false. The Mayavadi philosophy, Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. The living being is factually, but his present body situation is false. So it says our situation now is temporary, although it is not false. The Mayavadi philosophers, our situation now is temporary, although it is not false. So whatever situation we are in now, it's temporary between birth and old age. So that relation is there in between that. And before, there was no relationship. After that, there is no relationship. The example is given of a dream. When you dream, you see in a dream something. Before that, there was no dream. And after you get up, the dream has no value. Similarly, between birth and end. So therefore, our situation now is temporary, although this is not false. The Mayavadi philosopher says, Brahma Satya Jagan Mithya. Brahma, the living being, is factual, but his present bodily situation is false. So this is the difference between a Vaishnava philosophy and Mayavadi philosophy. Mayavadi means impersonal. They claim themselves to be God. The living entity will become merged in God, like become one with God. But that's an offense. Like he says, their philosophy is that this world is false, but the living is factual. Jagan Mithya Brahman. The living being is factual, but his present bodily situation is false. But according to Vaishnava philosophy, present is not false, but temporary. So present is not false, but it is temporary. It's like a dream. A dream does not exist before one falls asleep. Nor does it continue after one awakens. The period for dreaming exists only between these two, and therefore it is false, in the sense that it is impermanent. Similarly, the entire material creation, including our own creation and those of others, is impermanent. We do not lament for the situation a dream takes place or after it is over. And so during the dream or during a dream-like situation, the modes of create, maintain, and annihilate. During a dream-like situation, one should not accept it as factual and lament about it. This is real knowledge. One should not. This is the nature of the condition. He laments, he hankers, as conditioned souls. So these two examples are given: Mayavadis and Vaishnava philosophy. Mayavadi philosophy says Brahma Satya, Jagan Mithya. They say that living being is factual, is truth. But this bodily situation is false, they says. We living beings are truth, but this bodily situation is false, they says. But the difference between Vaishnava philosophy says, Vaishnava philosophy says, present situation is not false. Our present situation is not false, but it's temporary. It's under time. And then the example is given like a dream. In a dream, does not exist before one falls asleep, nor does it continue after one awakens. The period for dreaming exists only between these two. Therefore, it is false. See, it says, it's like a dream. A dream does not exist before one falls asleep. So before sleeping, there's no dream. And after sleeping, we get a dream. And after we wake up also, the dream does not continue. So between these two, therefore it is false in the sense. Right. It is impermanent. It's not permanent, the dream. Similarly, the entire material creation, including our own creation and those of others, is impermanent. So whatever we see in this creation and our creation is impermanent. It's not permanent. We do not lament for the situation a dream takes place. Example is given in dream, whatever we gain or loss, we do not lament for it, that. So though during a dream life, there should not accept as factual and lament for this is real knowledge. So this is real knowledge, we should not lament for it. So one has to, yes. Prabhupada used to always preach vigorously. He used to become exhausted, but still he was preaching like that. He was very kind, because sadhu means very kind, because he was an emissary of Krishna, and he was from the disciplic succession. And he would say that everyone should dawdle with the Supreme. He can speak so strongly he likes, for as long as willing to listen. So Prabhupada was speaking very heavy, as long the people were able to listen. He's saying he's a sadhu. The Sanskrit word, one who cuts, and he repeats the same message that for thousands of years, sadhus of the original Vedic culture have spoken. So they don't give their own concoction. They give the knowledge they have received from the parampara. They don't give their own mental speculation. He is reviving the eternal spirit of Vedic wisdom to cut the knots of ignorance and illusion. So sadhu means he is giving the knowledge of Vedic wisdom. He doesn't say, oh, this material world is nice, you can live very happy, peacefully, you can ever live for your eat, drink and suffer like that. No. He says you cannot. How long we can enjoy? We cannot enjoy actually. If we eat some sweet more, you cannot eat more like that. If you eat more sweet, then you will have diabetes or you will have loose motion like that. You will have to run 100 years like that. If you eat less, you become weak like that. Yes, sadhus are there giving the ritual. He is reviving the eternal spirit of Vedic wisdom to cut the knots of ignorance and illusion. Everything is illusion from the beginning of our birth, and that illusion is so strong, it is very difficult to get out of it. So everything is since of our birth is so illusion, it is very difficult to get out of it. We read the Bhagavatam's first prayers, even the great sages, the great demigods, they cannot get out of this. Illusion is so strong, they also bewildered. It says here, from the beginning of a birth, that is illusion. It's so strong, it is very difficult to get out of this. The whole thing is illusion. Birth is illusion, the body is illusion, whatever connected relationship is illusion, the country is illusion, the father is illusion, the mother is illusion, the wife is illusion, the children are illusion, everything is illusion. And we are continuing that illusion thinking we are very learned, advanced. It says we are continuing that illusion thinking we are very learned and advanced. We are imagining of many things, but as soon as death comes, the actual fact, then you forget everything. We forget our country, we forget our relationship, we forget our wife, children, father, everything is gone. So we are eternal spirit soul, we are not this body. Bhagavad Gita says, Dehi no asmin yata dehe kaumaram yovanam jara tata dehantar. So this is bhakti. Bhakti means enhancing spiritual taste. Become free from material detachment. Bhakti means enhancing spiritual life. That is bhakti. Pareshanubhav virakti anyatasit. And as he increases his spiritual taste, he becomes detestful to this material environment. That is the test. So Srila Prabhupada says, this is the real test. Srimad Bhagavatam says, Bhakti pareshanubhoyo virakti anyatashyat. Bhakti means enhancing spiritual taste. One should relish spiritual taste. Whatever he is doing, he's chanting, he's speaking Bhagavatam, glorifying Krishna, hearing about Krishna, remembering of Krishna. One should always remember Krishna. He should enhance, increase this taste for Krishna. So one is not a very complacent life, simple. One has to strive. Like in the material world, we have to strive very hard to maintain name, position, and so wealth. We don't give up. We strive for it very hard for that. Similarly, in spiritual, you have to strive more for that, it says. We have to increase our spiritual taste. We have to become detestful from material life. That's what actually bhakti is. Bhakti means enhancing spiritual taste. Virakti increases spiritually, becomes detestful to this material enjoyment. This is the real test. Bhakti means, yoga means to get relief from the business of being entangled in different bodies. That is called bhakti. Again, accepting a body, repeated birth, repeated old age, repeated disease. Means you have to become free from this entanglement. Actually, bhakti is. So, bhakti, we'll speak on Bhakti Vinod Thakur a bit. There's a lot to say, but we few things we are. Everyone is suffering. Maya Boshe. Under the influence, Miche Maya Boshe, Jache, Bhashe, Habudubu Hoy. This is a Bengali song, Bhakti Vinod Thakur, but it has very wonderful meaning. Everyone is suffering under the influence of Maya, the illusory energy. They are being carried away by the waves. So whatever form of existence in this material world, either it's a bird's body, aquatic's body, human body, or insect body, they are carried by the influence of the illusion, and they are under the three modes of nature, and they are suffering. Sometimes drowned, sometimes up, sometimes relief, sometimes distress. Another one example is given. The two birds, one is watching, that is the super soul, and one, we, the living entity, we are enjoying supper results of our act. So one bird is watching, that's the super soul. One bird is eating the fruits of the tree, whether sweet or bitter, that's we. So this is going on. To stop the Pachu being carried away is to take shelter of Krishna. Krishna also says, you are suffering, you simply surrender unto me. How one can be relieved from this repeated, from the influence of illusory? By surrendering unto Krishna, by taking shelter of Krishna. Param Satya Dhimai. We take the absolute truth. Param Dhimai, Param Satya. So we offer our respect, low business to Lord Krishna. So this is one of the song which Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Micher Mayar Boshi, Chacho Beshi, Habudubu Hoy. So meaningful it is. Everyone is suffering under the influence of Maya, the illusory energy. They are being carried away with the waves. Waves mean the three modes of material nature. And suffering, sometimes being drowned, sometimes up, sometimes relief. They are under the influence of Maya. They are being carried away by these modes of nature, three modes, goodness, passion, ignorance. And suffering, sometimes being drowned and sometimes they are feeling relief. There are different examples of this material world. The material world is compared to like nature is kicked like a football. Football doesn't stay in one place, it's kicked always. Similarly, we also kicked by nature from morning to night. We don't stay in one place, right? We are acting under this different nature. Similarly, this song also says, Miche Mayar Bhoshi, Jacho Visho Abudubu Hoy. Another example is given of big prison house. Material world is compared to a big prison house. In the prison house, the government maintains and they give good punishment. We are in the cycle of repeated birth, old age, disease, like that. We are suffering like that. Another example is given. The criminals they were drowned and they were taken out of water. And as soon as they come out of the water, they feel a bit relief. And again they are drowned. So whatever in this happiness in this world is just like that. Little flickering sense enjoyment, you say. Then again is suffering like that. He's just working hard. It's good. Under the influence of Maya, the illusion energy, they are being carried away by the waves. Waves mean the three modes of mental nature. And suffering, sometimes being drowned, sometimes up, sometimes relief, sometimes distress. This is going on. Or stop the perpetual being carried away is to take shelter of Krishna. One has to take shelter of Krishna. Like Maharaj Amrish, he engaged Savai Mana Krishna Padarvindayor. He engaged his mind at the lotus feet of the Lord, his hand in cleaning the temple of the Lord, his nose in smelling the fragrance of tulsi offered to the Lord or the flower offered to the Lord, incense like that. See, all he engages his head in offering obeisance to the Lord, hands in touching the body of the devotees of the Lord. So everything he used in Krishna's service, which connected with Krishna. It says everyone is suffering under the influence of Maya, illusion energy. They are being carried away by the waves. Waves mean the three modes of mental nature. And suffering, sometimes being drowned, sometimes up, sometimes relief. Sometimes they feel happy and sometimes they feel distress. They're constantly it's going on. One time it's sometimes very cold, sometimes it's very warm. Then he feels like little relief. It's warm. Oh, today the weather is very nice. This is a very nice etiquette to say, but actual fact is like that. It's a world of duality. Summer, winter, happiness, distress, young, youth, day, night, digging, building, forever, same cup of bread. So summer, same water is pleasing, winter is not pleasing. So it's not the heat, not the cold, not the old. It's the sense perception. This body is the source of all trouble. That's why we get headache, we feel backache, whatever. This body is the source of it. So in this song, Miche Mayar Boshe, everyone is suffering under the influence of Maya. They are being carried away the waves. Waves means the three modes of mental nature. And suffering, sometimes being drowned, sometimes up, sometimes relief, sometimes distress. This is going on. The only way to get out of this anxiety or to stop this perpetual being carried away is to take shelter of Krishna. Krishna in this age, shelter of the holy name of the Lord. Krishna also says, you are suffering, you simply surrender. So this is thing like that. Maya is front of you, it's like a shadow. Shadow is always next to you. Maya is there here, and it says, you want to enjoy? Come. When you try to enjoy, you become implicated. And when you understand Krishna, you hold on to Krishna, you can take shelter of Krishna, you can be relieved. Krishna says, you are suffering, you simply surrender to him. Either you take shelter of illusion, or you take shelter of the eternal truth. Param Satyam Dhimai, Om Namo Bhagavate. So this is one of the song, Miche Mayar Boshe, Jacho Abushu, the purport Prabhu. And then another song, Bhakti Vinod Thakur says, Manasa Deha Je Kuch Mora Arpila Tuva Padanand Kishore. We have got this mind. Mind is the center of creative force. Therefore, we have to surrender, first of all, mind to Krishna. The example of Maharaj Amrish. Maharaj Amrish, you saw his. We have got this mind. Mind is the center of creative force. Therefore, we have to surrender first of all mind to Krishna. Like example. Now you can kill me or you can give protection. Whatever you like, that's all right. Nitya das prati tu adhikar. So whatever Krishna wants, I accept it. Whatever Krishna. In whatever situation, I remember you, Krishna. You have the right to do everything. I am your eternal servant. That's what it is. Jeev Krishna Das, Nitya Krishna Das. He is an eternal servant of Krishna. And if he wants to become relief from these miseries, then he has to understand that I am eternal servant of Krishna. Previous song it was said, if the living entity is suffering, but he has to take shelter of Krishna, he has to surrender to Krishna, he has to accept Krishna is the absolute truth. And in this song it says, we have to understand that whatever body, mind, everything I offer to you, Krishna, When mind is the center of all activities, that I'm an eternal servant of Krishna, and that's my service to serve you, not the illusion. Krishna wants that because that's the surrender to Krishna. Another, if we do that, that does not take much time, but we attain the highest perfection of Bhagavad Dharma. That is wanted. Jada Vidya Mayar Vaibhav, Tomara Bhajane Bhada, Anitya Samsare Mahajana. Jibe ke kare gada. This is another song which says Jada Vidya. This material advancement, they are simply stumbling blocks for Krishna consciousness. The more one is enamored by so-called material advancement, the more he is disqualified to advance in Krishna consciousness. Because it's all energy is going in working only. Then where he has time for education and so and so. Therefore, Bhaktivinoda Thakur say, work. Jad Vidya Mahar Vaibhav. Suppose at present students have to work, study very hard, and they need a lot of money for education. And by the time they get education, suppose somebody is they get some graduation, and then they get a job. Out of thousands, 100 maybe get a job in very highly this IIT, whatever. That. He says, Jad Vidya Mayar Vaibhav, Te Mora Bhajane Bada, Anitya Samsare Mahajana, Jibe ke Karoye Gada. He says, Jad Vidya, this material advancement, Jad Vidya, they are simply stumbling blocks for advancing in Krishna consciousness. This is a block on the path of Krishna consciousness. The more one is enamored by the so-called material advancement, the more he is disqualified to advance in Krishna consciousness. As more one is enamored by this material advancement, he is disqualified to advance in Krishna consciousness. Because time we have got limited. If we waste our time for so-called material advantage, then we spoil our time. We cannot utilize this time for Krishna consciousness, which is the necessity of human life. It's a wonderful point. Because the time we have got limited, if we waste our time for so-called material advantage, then we spoil our time. So simply we use all our energy or time for material progress only, then we lose the real thing, which is Krishna consciousness. We don't have time for this, which is the necessity of human life. This third song is in history of India, there were many opulence, many countries attacked it. There were by nature, they had sufficient everything. Nature was providing jewels, gold, silk, metals, material product. But present now it's plastic, paper like that. The advancement it. Prabhu says potatoes should be mixed with vegetables. It become very tasty. Like variety is the mother of enjoyment. If you give one only stuff, it won't be happy, right? Like that. So even if Prabhu says you want to remain healthy, you don't want to become sick, then you have to eat nice fruits and vegetables, vitamin C's. So in present Kali Yuga, it's totally that also is. Even the food what we eat is so much chemicals, water is not clear. By nature, everything was available. There was no scarcity, gold, silk, metals like that. Now present it's Kali Yuga, is paper plates, plastic plates. Even the eating, also people has to work very hard, eating, sleeping. That's nice arrangement in the sitting for just for eating, sleeping. So much big propaganda is going everywhere we see city. But one has to work hard, so hard in Kali Yuga. And one more song, it says, Brahma janme nai morash, bahir mukha Brahma janme ash, kita janmo ho jattudas. So association of Krishna consciousness. Service to the Goswamis, association with devotees, and do not want anything else. That's all. That's whole Krishna conscious. I want to become Krishna conscious. These are the few songs, very deep meanings, and it's what path of perfection. Hare Krishna. Manasa deha che kuch mora arpi latuva Nanda Kishore. Whatever I have, mind, body, I offer you to Krishna. Maybe I be born in a womb, but I be born in a house of a devotee. Do not Jad Vidya Mayar Vaibhav. Very nice. Hare Krishna. Then Gaur Artis and many songs from Bhaktivinoda Thakur. There's a few songs that meaning. Any comments? Any questions? Hare Krishna. Yeah. Okay. श्रीमद् भागवत पुराण की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय, श्रील भक्ति विनोद ठाकुर की जय।